Hi, it's Rick. If you've worked wood for a while and you're anything like me, you become a wood hoarder, and you tend to save scraps of wood that any sane person would throw away. So today I'm going to use a few of those scraps, and I'm going to build a little toy for my grandson. Now my grandson is 4 years old, and he recently went to a horse show with his mother, and he's become enamored with horses. So I thought I would build a little galloping horse toy. I tend to build a lot of toys in automata. If it has a moving aspect to it, then I'm usually interested in it. Now anytime I make anything, my grandson says to me, "Grandpa, did you make that for me?" And whether I did or not, I usually say, "Why, yes I did." And I give it to him. So today I thought I'd make him something on purpose. I hope you like it. So these two pieces of scrap will make up the body of the horses. And I cut out this template from a piece of poster board. I'll just trace them on there and cut it out. So now that I've got them smooth, I'll need to drill some holes in them. I'll be using a 5/16 dowel for an axle, so I'll use a 3/8 Forstner bit to drill holes in the legs, for the tail, and in the mane. I'll also need to use a 1/4" bit to drill through the leg this way, so I have something to attach the pull string to. So before I go any further with the horses, I'm going to paint them, and I'm going to use some whimsical colors, red and blue, I think. There are several different ways to cut wooden wheels, and the two that I considered before I started this project were just turning a 1 3/4" dowel on the lathe and then cutting it like a loaf of bread into 3/4" slices, and I'd have my wheels. Unfortunately, I couldn't find this piece of stock suitable for that, so I fell back on my second option, which is using a hole saw. I have one of these hole saws that don't have a center drill in it. It's 1 3/4" across, and I'm going to use 1/2" hardwood plywood to cut the wheels out that way. There may be, but there are probably better ways to do this, but they're much more time consuming, and this is just a quick little project. And I've already cut one out and tried it, and it makes quite acceptable wheels. So I have one. I need 5 more. You need 6 for this project. So just a little bit of hand sanding, these wheels are ready to use. Now it was important that the hole saw that I used didn't have a center drill in it, because what makes this toy work is that the axles are off-centered. So the center drill wouldn't have worked. So let's drill the axle holes, then we can finish with the horses themselves and put the whole thing together. So now that the horses are dry, I'm going to take this piece of hemp type rope, cut off some small sections. Once it's dry, I can untwist them. In dry fitting this, I noticed that I have a problem. And that is, I didn't drill the hole on the horse's leg up high enough that the horse is catching on the table before the wheel has a chance to spin all the way around. But it's not that big a deal. I will simply drill a hole a little higher on all the wheels, and that'll take care of the problem. So I'm going to use the lathe to turn the last two small pieces of this toy. That would be a small yoke that the pull strings go through, and a handle for the end of the pull string. Now I don't have to turn these on the lathe. I could just as easily use pieces of square stock or a 1/2-inch dowel, something like that. But I have this piece of stock left over from the mallet build, so I figured why not use it. These are the pieces I turned on the lathe. I'm calling them the yoke and the handle, and I drilled some holes in them off camera, and I'm going to string them up now before we put the rest of it together. And I'm just going to use some twine. I'll have two pieces coming out the back, longer than I think I need them, and this piece in the front will be the pull string that pulls the toy. And now we can start assembling the rest of it. Now when I put this together, I want the red horse to have the axle high in the front and low in the back. And I want just the opposite on this horse. And it's very important to make sure that the wheels are lined up and that they're straight. If they're crooked, they will bind. Now we'll take the two strings from the back of the yoke and put them through the holes that we put in the front of the horse's legs. And that's all there is to it. Now we can test it out and see it in action. So that's it, a simple toy made from scrap wood, and it's in the shape of horses, so I know my grandson will love it. If you like my videos, consider subscribing, and as always, thank you for watching.